My name is Vanessa Sommerfeld. I am from Murray, Utah. I lost my 4 children to DCFS in June of 2007 when I took my children and went to a women's shelter. My ex-husband and his new wife, Tracy, who cannot have children of her own, were given temporary custody of our children while I went through my reunification process. I was having supervised visits with my children through DCFS. All documents state that visits were good and appropriate and that my children love me and I love them. A few months into my ex having custody, my 2 young daughters, who were 5 and 7, made false allegations against me, saying that I had sexually abused them. I was arrested in November of 2007 and released. A no-contact order was issued on me. CJC interviewed my daughters and nothing was disclosed. All evidence presented to DCFS and the police came from my ex and his new wife, Tracy. Financially, I had nothing, and the system took advantage of this. My defender was court-appointed, thus not supportive. My children and I had recently moved to Utah County, and I was in school full-time. In May of 2008, reunification was over. I had done everything on my plan through DCFS according to the caseworker. Then DCFS told my lawyer that if I did not drop reunification and give my ex full custody, they would terminate my parental rights. My state-appointed lawyer said this gave me the opportunity to fight for my children. So I dropped reunification after jumping through every hoop the state had required of me. I was having visits with my sons still. My ex and Tracy in September of 2008 put my 8-year-old daughter into a state group home and on psychotropic drugs. I got a court order to have my daughter reevaluated by a forensic expert, Dr. Kevin Gooley, at Primary Children's Hospital. His evaluation in our favor was disallowed as evidence. The ex and Tracy then alleged I abused my sons. In February 2009, my oldest son, 13, was interviewed by the Spanish Fork Police without a lawyer for his defense. His dad had my son claim I had abused him, and so he had abused his sisters. My son was put in the detention center, then DCFS moved him to a No-Joe's Level 6 treatment center. The police who interviewed me found no evidence of me abusing my sons. One daughter was in a group home, and one son now in a treatment center. DCFS has no jurisdiction over my 2 who are still with my ex. The no-contact order was dropped on my daughters in the criminal court, but the juvenile judge, Mary Noonan, gave the GAL, John Moody, and the therapist discretion on my having contact with my children, including those outside of DCFS custody. My children told the therapist I did not abuse them. My son mentioned he said those things to gain the trust of his dad. For 5 months, he denied I had abused him and he had abused his sisters. He requested a polygraph, and one was ordered, but never happened. His therapist manipulated him into retracting the truth so he could go home. My daughter never admitted to my son abusing her. Her therapist got her to say it happened without any details. The state and my ex put my daughters through numerous CJC physical exams. The police and CJC interviewed my sons. DVDs and transcripts have been destroyed or misplaced. My evidence of false memory, parental alienation, and forgery have been ignored by the judge, as well as evidence of my ex's pornography, sexual addiction, and abuse during our marriage. The divorce decree states he was not allowed visits with the children unless in therapy for his addictions, but everything was overlooked and put back on me. In December of 2010, my lawyer asked the judge to recuse herself 3 times, as she was the former head of DCFS. On December 14, 2011, the judge terminated my parental rights. The state had 3 of my children testify, hurting their case and emotionally abusing them in the process. My expert witness, Dr. Barden, proved false memories and abuse by the state. The judge minimized his testimony. Dr. Barden and I want to see the licenses of the LCSWs involved revoked. Tracy has since adopted my children. with the help of the state. In April of 2011, I remarried. The GAL told my lawyer that he had no problems with me raising my husband's children, but disallowed contact with my own. I have spent over $250,000 and have had no contact with my daughters for 5 years and my sons for almost 4.